David. Hi, David, and you're going to be talking to us about tarot today.
Yeah, I'm going to try to help new people who are beginners at it to learn on how to read.
Okay, awesome. All right, bud. You enjoy your time. Enjoy your class. Are you taking Q&A later?
I don't know. I might be able to if my net holds up. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I'm here if you need me, and if you have Q&A, I'll come and join you. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Then they try to read the book and try to understand what now is going on, and then sometimes that gets confusing. So I got a different method, and I would like to share it with you. But one of the things you're going to need is a tarot deck that is Rider-Waite friendly. And it could be any type of deck as long as it's Rider-Waite friendly. One that I use is the Arcanum deck. So let me get started here and try to show you. I'm just a little bit up out of my element right now because I usually have my phone doing this and have it down on the table where I can flip things around. But let's start off with what I like to call silent movies. So what we'll do is like you're watching like a movie, then you pause it, and this is what you end up pausing it on, and then you say, well, what is that card about? Well, if you look at it, you got a guy on this side. Let's see if I get the camera right. If you got a guy on this side and a guy on the other side, and there is a rope in the middle, and you see them pulling, it's like a struggle. So this would be like a struggle card. So what you got to do is you got to let the card speak to you when the person asks us the question. So this one would be like a struggle. Let me show you another one. Now, when you get this card here out, it could be like with any card. It's what we call picture reading. I guess that's what some people call it. I get my camera right. I just look awkward. All right. Now, when you pull it out, first thing you do is that you just look at the card. You look, see what's going on. You think of a movie that's being paused, and if you walk in, and if you've seen this on your TV screen, what does it look like? Well, here we got a woman that is blindfolded. She's surrounded by swords. So, so here we can see also that this woman seems to be in trouble. So when someone asks a question about, let's say if they're asking a question about their relationship, well then this card looks like, there might be a problem within the relationship, or something. Or this could be a person that could be feeling trapped and can't see their way out because of the blindfold. So they can't see. So let's try another one. We get a little bit more happier cards. Try this one here. Now this guy here, if I can get it centered, he's got a set of scales on this side here. You can see the scales, and the scales are balanced. But he's also giving out money and stuff to other people. So this person, he's pretty much balanced, but he's not only balanced, but he has a good heart. So if somebody again was asking about a relationship or something, and then they say, so I pulled this card because I want to know about it, my boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and just what kind of person are they? Well, this one here shows it's a balanced person and it's a giving person, and it looks like that he's investing in other people, and stuff too. So that this would be a good guy. So now that's what we do starting off in the tarot reading is that we learn on how to picture read. So like this person here, you see, he's carrying a load. So just by looking at the picture, you can already tell something about it. This guy here, he's carrying a load. He looks like he's kind of struggling real big because some of it's getting ready to drop. So it gives you an idea on what's going on. So now the method that I use, you don't need a lot of memorization, but yet there will be some memorization. So now you pull a card You just look at it, study your cards. That's always in. As soon as you get a deck, really look at all your cards and study it, and then let the cards speak. Do not try to force a meaning, but just let it speak. You can see in this one here, that the girl, she looks like that she's kind of, she don't, she's kind of sad. She got problems here. So now let me see. Just trying to get everything fit together. Now here you can see that this is a two of cups. Now what does it look like? And that's what you do, is that you look at it. So what does it look like? It looks like somebody that may be starting into a relationship. Maybe they're getting ready to take the relationship to the next level. So this is one of the things that you do. And you look at the picture and let the card speak to you. There's so many people who try to force a meaning and try to understand it. Now, I'm going to give you a tip. If you're at the little book that you have, mostly at what it has the key words. So what you do, if you are a beginner, you can write a key word on the card if you want to, and then that would help you in like trying to figure it out as well. Like you turn it over, go, oh, that's the key word, and then that would also help. But right here, you can see it. This is like a relationship thing. Now, let's say, well, let me show you another card, and then I'll show you on how to put a couple cards together. So now, right here is a guy. Now, this guy, you just look at the card, and then you can almost tell what's going on. He looks like he's been a little sneaky. He's got one foot out the door, and it looks like he's grabbed up a few swords, and he's trying to back away. So now this is like, I guess you can call him the thief. So let's say that if a person was talking about their relationship, or it could be a job, but most of the questions that you get is usually about the relationship thing. So if they're talking about a relationship, and then you've got these two cards, well, see now this looks like something, but over here it looks like one of them might only be in it to get whatever he can out of the relationship, and then they're gone. They ain't in it to win it. They ain't there to stay. So now you can see. So now you can look at that. Let me grab another card. Let me see if I can find. See, I got all of this. Like I said, I'm a little bit out of my element. Then let's try this card here. So now when you put these cards together and you look at this one, what does this one look like first? That's always first thing. Now we already determined this one here is like a relationship. So what's this one here look like? Well, this one looks like a guy who is working. You see, he's working hard. He's paying attention to what he's doing and everything. So this one could be someone that's working on the relationship. Or maybe the relationship may need a little work. So you put the cards together and you let them there speak. So they say, so how's my relationship going? They say, well, it looks like it might need a little work, but it looks good. It's not bad. It just might need a little thing, just a little something. So it's stuff like that. But now let me show you here. Now, let's say that a person pours it out like that. If I can get it together. Now, this looks really good. You just let the card speak to you. See, you got your relationship card, and here now you got a family card. See how that looks? That looks great, you see. So just letting the cards speak to you, you could get a feel of what's going on. I'll give you another one. Now this one here looks kind of bad here. You see, you got all these swords stabbed into this person. This is what I would call the betrayal card. This is where someone was betrayed. So you can see that because she didn't stab herself. You know what I'm saying? All righty. Now, let me see if I can grab a few more things here. All right, now another thing to remember in tarot reading, if you want some things to memorize instead of just looking at the picture and trying to read it like that, is another thing is aces. Aces always means a new start. I mean, no matter which ace that you pull out, it's always a new start of some kind. So you gotta keep that in mind. Like every time that you pull an ace, it's like a new start. But also with the ace, now this is things that you can write down. Also with the aces, you got different ones. You see, you got the ace of pentacles, the ace of cups, wands, and swords. Now, when you're looking at these, they have a slightly different meaning because of their elemental dignities, which this will go a little bit deeper in. But I'll mention it in passing. At swords, if I can get it out here. Swords, the easiest way to remember swords is communication. Now which there's a lot of different. You can go a little deeper with it, but just keeping it simple is communication. So just keep it simple. Wands is like fire. It's lust, love, desires, stuff like that. Just keeping it simple. Okay. Pentacles. This is like earth. This is like your money, your job, your house, your car. It deals with material things. And then with cups, well, that's back to relationships. It deals with emotions and stuff like that. All right. I don't know if I'm going too fast for anybody or not. All righty, let's try this. All right. Now,
You're doing
all
great.
right, now let me take it a little further with it. My mouth's getting a little dry. But these are the simple things. And another thing that you want to do, like I was talking about studying your cards, is sometimes you get cards to where they got like balconies and stuff. So whenever you see like a balcony, you can look at that as a barrier, something that is hindering you from going forward. So now you can look at it like it. You have to use your intuition. Now starting off, you might not have none, but as you keep reading and keep practicing, it comes. I mean, it does. It comes slowly, but it comes. But then once it comes, well, then you'll understand whenever you pull a card, well, then you'll be able to look at it, and then you'll see like barriers is blockage. So if you're feeling like that's the question, and your eyes or whatever draws you to the barrier, then maybe there's something blocking the person from fulfilling their question. Here now, let's look at another type of barrier that a person can have right here. You've got a person that's he's in a defensive mode, and then here is another barrier. So sometimes you just got to look and see, what's going on in the card. The guy is defensive. There's also a barrier that keeps him from going forward. He's, and he's defending the door. So, and now in each deck, it's a little different, but that's what you look for. Like right here, we got the Emperor. You see, he even has a barrier. He might be one of the strongest people as a leader, but even he has limitations. You see, so he can't do like everything that he wants to do in this particular deck. He's got a barrier. So that's stuff that you have to look at when you're doing your cards. Now, like I said, you could take and put keywords, because if you're brand new, I mean, you could put keywords right on your cards, which would help you. And you can, like when you flip them over, you can go, oh yeah, okay, and then you have something to help trigger your memory of maybe what you read in like the book. But for the most part, for when you start out, just start out by doing picture reading, silent movies, see what's going on. You know, like here we see a struggle, the people with the tug of war, and then you start putting cards together, and then you can start seeing it more clearly. Let's see what else I got. See, I got the. Well, if I can quit, got to get my throat straight. Hold up. Now, if there be any questions, you all could ask, and we can try to figure out some of that.
Well, I'll go ahead and hop in with one that I get all the time. One of them being, what about the devil card? Ain't that all evil?
No, but that is one of the things that there's some bad cards, or seem to be bad cards, that is in the deck, and some people are scared of. Let me find it here. And just because you see a bad card, it doesn't mean that it's always bad. I'm looking for the devil card. Now, in some decks, they don't have a devil card, like the Witch's Tarot. Because why? Because witches don't believe in the devil.
Right. And a lot of them have been classified as the Pan card, or I think some of them even have transferred it to the High Priest card for that.
Yeah.
What's your feelings on how to start reading spreads or putting cards together?
And now what now?
You know how a lot of the little books, have like the Celtic cross and the 3 card, and then and a lot of beginners do this. They see this really cool spread online, and then they try to put it together, and they get all frustrated.
Oh man. Well, the best thing to do is really just start out with maybe like a 3-card spread, and try to do what I was talking about, like the silent movie. Well, here, let me get to that, and then get to this here too. Hold up, let me grab about a couple of them here, and we'll put them together, and we'll let them see. I usually have my phone, and I'll be over on my table where I can put things together. But just to try to keep it simple, because now I don't want to make it too hard. Now, what some people do is make up their own spreads. But let's just say that you got 3 cards, and then you're trying to put it together, and you're like, man, what in all is going on? Well, you start off one at a time, and then just look at and see what's going on in each card. Like right here, we already see a struggle. Here we see a relationship, and then here we see another man that is kind of struggling with what he's carrying. He's got like a load, like maybe a guy with like a lot of baggage. So if you really just think about it, once you understand what you're looking at, then it's easier to put it together. You can say, well, look at here now. You got a struggle here. You got a guy. It seems like he's struggling there, and this is a relationship. So if the question deals with relationship, but if this is a struggle, you just put it together. You let the cards speak. Now on my Facebook group, I got called Smoky Wisdom Tarot School. I cover a lot of that in more detail. It's really hard here. I just don't.
Wonderful. And with that, share out your links. You've got a tarot group running.
Yeah.
Do you take readings? If so, how do they contact you for that?
Well, I do do readings and all that, I do it in the tarot group. Sometimes I just do it up on my page because I get really excited and just want to read,
Right.
But here lately, it's been really hard for me since this virus thing and everything has came out. My daughter's not working, and then when she's on the computer, I can't be on the computer because it kind of like it fights with each other.
Right. Well, I'm going to throw this at you because this is a question love to hear from another tarot reader. As you know, the tarot itself is a reflection of our history. Cards start forming, like, the Death card came when England overthrew the Catholic Church, that type of thing. Do you think that there's going to be another card added to the tarot because of 2020?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have a clue, really. And you can, it could be an idea for somebody, because of 2020 to just make up a whole new deck and say, look at here, we're going to have us a Corona tarot card.
Well, you've seen the 2020 new tarot deck, and it's all towers. Why don't you talk about the tower a little bit? Because a lot of people freak out with that one too.
Okay. Well, I like to get the tower out and be able to look at it. So now, like the tower in this particular deck, here's what it looks like. You got it looks like a tornado or something just going through there and just tearing up something,
Mm-hmm.
So now, whenever I see the tarot card, at the tower, it puts me in mind of like somebody's foundation is having some problems. Like it's really shaking the foundation right here, and it's kind of a destructive card. But at the same time, now this could be a good thing because let's say you're in a bad relationship anyway, and you need to get out of it, and then now this card here comes up and says, "Look, you're going to be able to get out of it because this is fixing to fix itself."
Mm-hmm.
So so now that's how I see the tower card, is that this is something that's shaking the foundation, something that's it could be good, it could be bad. It really depends on the question and what's going on.
Right. And how it's going on.
Yeah, and that is the other thing. You have to talk to your query or client, because sometimes that you can look at something and you might think it's bad, but after he talks and lets you know what and all is going on a little bit, well, then you can say, oh, well, then this should go this way then, instead of looking at it the other way.
Right. Something that I would love your opinion on is and this is a problem I see with a lot of new tarot readers, is they're doing a reading on a relationship, and everything's coming up money.
Yeah. Well, now what you got to do is now this just going just a little bit deeper with it. And once you learn, like, swords is like communication, and then you pull out a bunch of cards on like a relationship, and just like you said, it was all money. But then what is missing? Well, you don't have the swords, which is communication. You don't have the at the wands cards. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain elements which is missing. So you may want to talk about that, because sometimes people can be focused on money too much and not really focused on the other points in the relationship.
What for you makes a good beginner's deck? What should they be looking for?
I think they should start out with the Rider-Waite. To start with something with a lot of pictures, to start off with. You don't want to start off with the Tarot Mon City or whatever. I can't even pronounce it now.
The Tarot Monsanto. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to start out with something with pictures, because the Golden Dawn had the Rider-Waite done, and it was done for a purpose. Like it was done to help.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And understand that what we're talking about today is Rider-Waite tarot. Soft tarot is a whole different level.
Oh,
great.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So now, if you get Aleister Crowley's soft tarot card, that's just going to It's got a lot of colors, and the pictures are way different. I mean, like, you're gonna have to learn some numerology and some astrology and
It's
how
the psychology. Because
you
I read it. I use Thoth Tarot all the time, but that deck is total psychology for me.
yeah,
And since we get two readers on here, something I see a lot of newbies doing is trying to compare their card readings to something I do online or maybe something you do online and go, well, I don't get that. Why is he getting that? Why is it? I must be wrong. You want to address that?
well, and there's you know, like whenever you read the tarot, it's your reading and it's what you see. You know, now not everybody's psychic, and not everybody can see what some other people can see, but you do what you know. You know what I'm saying? And then don't step up out of that until you have practice and is ready to step out of that element. But
Right. An example of that is a lot of times I see the Three of Swords is starting to pull things back together, especially if it's reversed
uh
in business and stuff. And other readers a lot of times will come in and go, "Oh, well, that's a heartbreak."
yeah, and then they might not even know what the question was.
Exactly.
They think it was, man, that there's a heartbreak. You're going through a bad time. Well, but like I said, as you get into the elemental dignities, and then you step out of the picture realm and then start looking at, like, okay, swords is communication, but now you're not looking at a heartbreak,
Right.
but now you're looking at communication, and then you put that with the other cards which is out there, and you could get the feel for it. You just got to listen to the question, and then you're going to have to ask questions too. Because
Mm-hmm.
somebody, like come up and say, well, me and my boyfriend, we just broke up, so we're gonna get back together. Well, you gotta ask. So how long have y'all been together? So let's start there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because if you all just started dating last week,
Yeah, it may not be as bad or as different as it is. But that's important to not just sit down, especially when you're a new reader, and a lot of people want to run into general reading first off. I don't recommend it, especially not when you're just starting out, because you need to understand what you're looking at.
yeah.
Yeah,
And what I see, that's why I said that, like for like beginners, that they could write key words on like their cards to get them, to get them used to it.
hmm,
But if sooner or later you're going to have to put the book away, you're going to have to put the keywords away. You're going to have to go with your experience with it, and then how you understand it.
well, what if if you're a beginner and you buy a ticket, it just ain't talking to you?
Well, my suggestion would be, first, before you go buy a deck, go look at some YouTubes and where people are showing you what the deck looks like, and then just make sure that it speaks to you. Because there's a lot of people that they'll look at the cover and they'll go, man, that's a nice cover, and they'll grab that and run off the shelf with it, and they, I don't know
Hmm.
nothing about it. It just might be a deck of playing cards, and they're like, well, I don't know nothing about this.
Hmm.
You know,
Um, One of our commenters said individual energies for individuals. I think they were talking about where we were talking about, two readers looking at the same spread.
uh-huh.
Another same commenter said ease into it, don't go blindly into either. What do you think about when people get past the beginner stage and then they start adding in like the or deck has added in the astrology, the numerology? They've just piled everything into the tarot, and then they get overwhelmed. How do you suggest they fix that?
Well, now, first off, just don't overthink it. Whenever you're looking at it, sometimes that they say your first impressions are probably right, you know. But if you try to sit there and try to force a meaning, you know, you can pull up and you can go, okay, this here is like a relationship, but at the same time, twos is choices. Then at the same time, cups means emotions, you know. And then when you're trying to throw all of that in there, you're going to have to first just listen to the question. The question is what you're going to have to go off of, and now just before you try to add emotions and choices and all of that, you have to listen to the query.
Mm-hmm. So another standard questions I get, and I always love hearing it back, is what's your favorite card?
My favorite card? Well, this one here. I like that one. Every time I see that, I'm like, man, that's awesome. That puts me in mind of happy times for people.
What was the hardest card for you to learn?
Oh Lord. Well, the hardest to get into was the majors. Oh my. To get into any of the majors,
Mm-hmm.
Because oh Lord, I had one that was picked out here. But yeah, the major cards is one of the things you really need to read the book, and you might want to write your keyword on it to get started with.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord, I can't even find it now. But the I call it the resurrection card. Like where they blow the trumpet.
Mm-hmm.
Judgment, I think is what it's
Yes,
called.
Judgment Day or Judgment, or some have it labeled as renewal if they went really artistic off of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one was hard for me to get to because I was like, Revelations? What's Revelations doing in the tarot?
yeah, what they do.
We have a question. The question is, what about the court cards? Do you have any tricks?
Any tricks for the court cards? Well, all right, let me get out a court card here and give you an idea. All right, I got you a trick. All right, let me grab something here. Just grab a couple cards. Okay, let's say we got the King of Coins. You ain't doing that, just standing around. You know what I'm saying? In this particular deck, in the original Rider Waite, it's just sitting. It's just sitting up onto the throne. So if you get to where you don't know what it is, or you can't read it, or you're having a hard time, well, pull out another card as a clarifier. Now, it's hard for me to do because it's all standing up here. Let me see. Okay, and then imagine this card, this guy is doing this. So if you can't figure it out, you can pull another card and say he's doing this. So now this is what this guy is doing. If you're having troubles in that aspect. But once you learn the elemental dignities and stuff, then this here would start becoming a little bit natural to you.
Mm-hmm.
But starting off, you're like, okay, we got this king. So what's he doing? He's doing it. You know what I'm saying? So like if they're asked about, just what does my boyfriend think about me or whatever, you can say, well, here he is, and then this is what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Now that's what he thinks of.
And what about when using a significator? Does it have to be a card?
That's what now. Say what now?
When choosing a significator, you know how something will have you go through and choose a significator, which I think is what this questioner is talking about. How do you choose a significator? Do you go off a court card, or do you just pull the card you feel is right?
Well, there's a couple ways on how people do it, and you can. There are some people will use the major arcana cards, and then if they want to go through the America. And then sometimes you can just let somebody look at them, and then see if they want to pick one or something. But if you're trying to pick one for your client, which that's a little bit above just be now beginner things, you can size your client up and see what they're like. You can ask for a birthday and stuff, and you can go out and then do your numbers and stuff, add everything up the numbers, and then try to figure out the card. But you can size them up and see if this is a money-oriented one or an emotional type person or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you can match the hair colors. That's another way.
Yeah. Match it up with what you see in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Say, all right, but now that's what you look like to me. You look like this kind of person.
Yep. Yeah, and you love listening to someone else teach tarot, and talk about tarot because it's one of those arts we've got to keep alive. Um, in my opinion, we you can take 100 tarot classes and learn something different. And I really love that deck. What deck were you showing everybody?
That was the Arcana.
The Icon. Yeah, nice box too.
Yeah, and it comes with a small book.
I find those are wonderful to keep tables level.
Yeah.
That's about the use I use for them, and that's always I always suggest. How do you keep your cards? Do you keep them in the boxes, or do you keep them wrapped? Or
Well, I usually wrap them up, and then let me show you. Now, well, you can order pouches to put them in, you know. But then, if you ain't got no pouch to put them in, but if you got some old jeans that's tore all to pieces and you're gonna throw them away anyway, you can cut the pocket off of the back of it like this. Then
uh-huh,
you put your cards right down in there.
very cool. Because I know
Yeah.
a lot of people say you have to wrap it in purple or um, green, or it has to be 100% silk, and you can't buy your own deck.
Oh man, it's all preference. You know, if there's some people says that you can't read tarot cards unless somebody gives you a deck. I mean, that's a lot of superstition stuff. You know, like here when I, you know, anybody can learn to read. You know, if somebody wants to give you a deck, great, but that deck might not even speak to you. So how is that going to help you? You know what I'm saying? You're going to pick that up and go,
Right. Another question that we've gotten in the chat is: do you have to pick a significator if it's in the spread?
and I say what now?
Do you have to pick a significator if it's in your spread layout?
It's really a preference. If you want to pick one, well, then you can. You don't have to. It's really a preference to you.
And it's totally preference. And I think that's something a lot of people get stuck on it. A lot of things in tarot is preference or personal style.
And there are some people who don't read upside down cards. You know, they turn them around and they read upright. Some read now. You know, like the reversals.
Hmm.
So, and that's all still your preference. You know, it's
Hmm.
just what are you comfortable with, and then how is it working out for you? If you read them all upright and you're right about 90% of the time, well, then there you go. You know.
Right. And 90% of the time you're going to be able to do a read. It's going to take a little work, but you'll get to where your cards and you talk a lot. But I always see it as a friendship with my cards.
Yeah.
I have to learn to be friends with them, and they have to learn to be friends with me.
Hmm. And you should practice like every day. I mean, like maybe ask a family member, "Hey, come over here, let me read for you," or something. You know, or maybe a friend or something like that. And then
Hmm.
once you get good enough, or you want to step out, but then you can try to go like sit over there in like the park, and then maybe ask some strangers, "Hey, y'all want to have a tarot reading?"
Hmm.
Yeah.
What's your area though? Because we do still have areas in West Virginia where that's illegal.
I don't reckon. Sure.
Yeah, no, we do. Vienna, West Virginia, it is illegal to read tarot in public. Um, Huntington, West Virginia, it is illegal to read tarot in their city limits.
Well, I didn't know all that. Now, see, now, when you get in with the law, I mean, you wouldn't think, I mean, like, these people who go to church, that they can read their Bibles and prophesy and everything right out in public.
Uh huh.
I mean, that's crazy.
I know and it's things that's old laws that we have to change. But you just got to you know your stuff. But no, get out there and practice. Practice as much as you can. I totally agree with you on that. I really want to thank you for giving a really awesome class. We have shared your Facebook out there, so you may get a lot of friends requests.
Uh,
What do you charge for your readings? Do you charge for your readings? Are you doing events?
no, I do it to just be doing it. Basically, I don't charge. It's just something to keep me in practice.
Okay, awesome. All right, so guys, if you look in the comments, you'll see that we've shared David's Facebook out there. Thank you very much, David. You have a wonderful day, and hope to see you at 6:30.
All right, you too.
All right, guys.